Good afternoon. This is my final presentation for Environmental and Occupational Health 5102 for the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. This is my disclaimer slide stating that this is a student presentation for a hypothetical scenario for educational purposes. For more details, please read below. The topic that I will be presenting on is eating organic and locally. Can it be done? And again, this is for Environmental and Occupational Health 5102. This is for the fall of 2019. My name is Jessica Coleman, MD, MS. And this is my final presentation. And the audience for this presentation is a local community group. First, we're going to discuss our outline. So first, what is organic? Then we're going to move on to identifying organic. And then organic fun facts. The Dirty Dozen. The top genetically modified organism foods. What is organic? Organic is produce that is grown without using pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, sewage sludge, genetically modified organisms, ionizing radiation, or antibiotics and growth hormones. The USDA National Organic Program, or the United States Department of Agriculture National Organic Program, defines organic food with a very lengthy definition, but I feel like it's important to realize what it says. So organic food is produced by farmers who emphasize the use of renewable resources and the conservation of soil and water to enhance environmental quality for future generations. Organic meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy products come from animals that are given no antibiotics or growth hormones. Organic food is produced without using most conventional pesticides, fertilizers made with synthetic ingredients, or sewage sludge, bioengineering, or ionizing radiation. Before a product can be labeled organic, a governmental approved certifier inspects the farm where the food is grown to make sure the farmer is following all the rules necessary to meet the USDA organic standards. Companies that handle or process the organic food before it gets to your local supermarket or restaurant must be certified as well. So first, how to identify organic. So as we talked about, this is regulated by the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. So this photo right here shows the USDA organic seal. Companies and farmers will have annual inspections to make sure that they're adhering to these requirements. And there's different categories of organic, which is probably why it has confused a lot of people in the past. So we have products that are 100% organic, meaning 100% of the products or the food that makes up that product is organic. Then we have organic 95%. 95% means that the majority of these products, or the majority of the components of these products, are organic, and the other 5% is still heavily regulated. And the third category we have is made with organic ingredients. So this means 70% of the ingredients are organic, and 30% again are have strict restrictions and strictly no genetically modified organisms. And just to give you more of an idea of the process that goes behind this, farmers, it requires them 3 years to be able to become an organic farm. The first 2 years cannot be stated as organic due to the restrictions by the USDA. Places to shop organic include local supermarkets, Whole Foods, Fresh Market, and direct from farmers. And again, as I previously discussed, these supermarkets are required to follow organic regulations and are inspected regularly by the USDA. Organic fun facts. So typically people avoid organic food because of the cost. So the cost, in fact, is not always higher. Farmers do not receive federal subsidies, which shows that these plants will represent the true cost of growing as opposed to the more commercial farms. Those farms receive federal subsidies so they can reduce the price in the store. There's also more labor and management intensive, which does increase the cost requirement for farmers. And they also tend to have smaller farms because, as stated before, it's a process to swap to organic, and it takes time and investment. And then conventional farmers, as I discussed before, do not reflect the cost of many things, including environmental cleanups, because the government allows them money to cover those costs. Organic food also has a better taste. This is the choice of gourmet chefs across the country and across the world. They strongly believe that organic food tastes significantly better. There's also studies saying that organic food is more nutritious. This has been debated and is still currently debated, but several peer-reviewed journals have found this to be true. University of California, Davis has found that organic tomatoes had higher levels of phytochemicals and vitamin C, showing that they contribute more to the health that you're eating these foods for. Next, the Dirty Dozen. So the Dirty Dozen are foods that are known to be extremely contaminated with different things like pesticides or radiation and such like that. And each year there's a new list of Dirty Dozen. So I've included some of the ones that are regular on that list here. So these are apples, strawberries, grapes, celery, peaches, spinach, sweet bell peppers, nectarines, specifically imported ones, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, snap peas that are imported, as well as potatoes, hot peppers, kale, and collard greens. So when shopping for these foods, it's important to try and buy these products organic, even if you're not going to completely swap to buying all products organic, because these products are known to be contaminated and can have a bad outcome on your health or your family's health. And so this is the 2019 Dirty Dozen picture I have included up here. So as you can see, it's strawberry, spinach, kale, nectarine, apple, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes. And opposite, we've got the 2019 Clean 15. So each year they rank the cleanest foods that don't necessarily have to be purchased organic, but as we've discussed already, it can show health benefits to eat organic. So the 2019 Clean 15 include avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, sweet peas, onions, papayas, eggplants, asparagus, kiwi, cabbages, cauliflower, cantaloupe, broccoli, mushrooms, and honeydew melons. Top genetically modified organism as far as foods go. So these are the most popular ones that are normally genetically modified. That's soy, corn, sugar beets, canola, alfalfa, zucchini, yellow squash, and papaya. And this obviously can change each year as well. And so I've included an example from the Organic Lifestyle that shows a picture of some of these foods that they've included that are most common. So theirs says tomato, rice, alfalfa, sweet corn, summer squash, wheat, cotton, sugar beets, soy, peas, salmon, canola oil, yeast, and Hawaiian papaya. And the organisms are modified genetically for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's to increase the amount of produce, to increase costs, or to increase revenue. And other times it's because of the lack of supply. Now we're going to move on to discuss local. So what classifies as local? I think it's important to understand that there's no standard definition for what classifies as local. Generally, it requires crops and foods to be grown, processed, and sold within a certain area. The definition can also vary on population. Cities require smaller bounds as far as distance, as opposed to rural areas that might have a wider range. There's a subgroup of people that call themselves locavores. These are people that eat food only produced, sold within 100 miles of their locations. As you can imagine, that can be quite difficult. Grocery stores classify local or regional as within 450 miles. And these products are commonly labeled at these stores for you. I also included a label here that is common to a lot of stores and products, just encouraging you to eat local. Now we're moving on to the advantages. Advantages for eating organic. So these include reducing the toxic load for the environment, reducing all farm pollution, protecting the future from pesticides, build healthier soil, better flavor. You can assist family farmers, use less energy, and support locals, as a lot of organic food tends to be sold locally. You can also promote biodiversity by choosing different crops with different seasons. You can also get healthier fats, be exposed to fewer pesticides and heavy metals, and also a reduction in accumulation in kidneys and lower rates of ADHD potentially has been identified by Time studies. Times also identified that you'll be exposed to less carcinogens by eating organic. You also have 50% more omega-3 fatty acids. You have more antioxidants, according to the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry. They say it's even up to 20% more. You also be decreasing antibiotic resistance, according to Time. And this is not just for people, but also for animals. In the era of superbugs, this is very important. The advantages to eating local include having fresher food, getting to eat seasonally, so it means you have no artificial ripening, which results in less blandness of the flavor. It's better for the environment. Since you are eating locally, you're supporting farmers in your area, and then also you're not accumulating gas and CO2 emissions by moving food across country or even across the world. You can preserve green space and farmland and reducing the carbon footprint, as previously discussed. And then also the food is safer because it's not having as many opportunities to be contaminated. And again, you're promoting variety, you're promoting the local economy, and you're creating a community centered around food and supporting each other. Disadvantages to eating organic can be, as we discussed, sometimes a higher price, the difficulty interpreting what food is organic, what food is not, and understanding this terminology. You have to learn a new glossary. Can also be limited options. The disadvantages for eating locally are less food choices and variety. Local farms can dictate the health, so it puts a lot of pressure on the farms to have higher expectations from their communities, and hopefully they adhere to those. Food safety concerns. As we discussed, it's the farm's responsibility, even though they will still be inspected by the USDA. But there's a little bit less regulation on some of the local farms just because the USDA does not have unlimited resources. But you have to weigh this against the cost of contamination by traveling more around the country and around the world. The disadvantage also of eating locally is global hunger. So some say that industrial farming is a necessary evil to keep the world fed. Is it practical or not? Yes, it is very practical. And with a little bit of education, a little bit of extra effort, eating organic and locally is very doable for everyone. And with the added extra health benefits, there's not many reasons not to try. You also get to support your local farmers and local community, which is always rewarding. So below I've included some definitions because, as I discussed, education is probably the most important part. People don't know where to find this information or what to believe. And so I've included some definitions that'll make it easier for you to shop organically because you'll understand some of the words. I'm not going to go through each definition because it can be a lot of information. So I'm just going to read the words and go through a couple of the important ones. So definitions here are biodynamic, which this one is an important one. It's organic methods including crop rotation and composting with special plant, animal, mineral preparations, and the rhythmic influence of the sun, moon, planets, and stars. We've also got the California Certified Organic Farmers, Certified Organic, Certified Naturally Grown, which means that it's supporting smaller local farmers that cannot afford to participate in the National Organic Certification Program. Composting, which is composing organic matter that's recycled back into the earth. Cover cropping, which is where we temporary protection for delicate seedlings and provides a canopy for seasonal soil protection and improvement between normal crop production periods. Crop rotation, which is, as you can imagine, swapping crops and seasonally and each year. Community supported agriculture, which is a subscription service that allows you to support your farms locally. Eco-conscious is someone that is aware of the environment and the ecosystems that support it and try to make decisions accordingly. Fair trade are items that are internationally produced, and it assures that farmers get paid better than conventional prices. We also have farmers markets, which a lot of cities and areas have, where you can support your local farmers. We have the Food Quality Protection Act, which assures good quality food. And on the next page, we've got a little bit more definitions. We've got free-range, genetically engineered, genetically modified organisms, heirlooms, humus, some organizations like the International Federation or Organic Agriculture Movement, the Integrated Pest Management, which is dedicated to monitoring pests in a more environmental friendly way and unique to each pest. Irradiation, natural, and then a couple more organizations here: Northeast Organic Farming Association, the National Organic Program, National Organic Standards Board, No Preservatives, Organic Crop Improvement Association, and then Organic Farming, Organic Consumers Association, Organic Matter, Organic Trade Association, Paraben Free, which paraben is a chemical that has been associated with reproductive issues and can be commonly found in foods to preserve their wellness on the shelf. Persistent toxic chemicals, which are chemicals we can't get out of the environment. Pesticides, we all know. Quality Assurance International, Soil Association certification. These two are both dedicated to promoting healthy food and healthy soil for the world and the environment. Sustainable, the United States Department of Agriculture, which we've discussed. And then wildcrafting, which is finding food or herbs in their environment, in their natural habitat, where it's not being maintained by a company or by a farm. In summary, we've discussed the definition of organic, the Dirty Dozen, top genetically modified organism as far as foods, definition of local, advantages and disadvantages of organic and locally eating, and the practicality behind it. So these are my references listed below. And we've got some from the United States Department of Agriculture and Organics. Feel free to have a read through these to learn more. You can also have my contact information if you have any questions or want more resources. My name is Jessica Coleman. This is my email and this is my phone number. And I'm with the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, School of Public Health. Thank you for listening, and please don't hesitate to ask any questions. What classifies as local? Advantages to eating organic and local. Disadvantages to eating organic and local. And is it practical or not? And then we'll move on to the summary slide.